Our next speaker is Ms. Hannah Creelman, who is the Training and Development Officer from Britannica Digital Learning, and she's actually based in Australia. Her session is actually entitled Connected Learning, and she is an experienced primary school teacher with over 15 years experience teaching. With her knowledge of curriculum as well as teaching and online experience, she has a thorough understanding of the practical implementation of digital resources within a working classroom environment. I'm sure this is a topic that quite a number of our educators will be waiting for as well. So the floor is yours, Hannah.
For more than 20 years, Britannica have partnered with education leaders to help them leverage technology creatively and empower a new generation of thinkers. Now in our 250th year, we serve more than 150 million students in 83 countries. Britannica School is a comprehensive digital learning environment that is visually engaging and resource-rich. Always up-to-date and factually correct, it provides for differentiated learning. Students of all ages and abilities can select a reading level based on their comprehension proficiency, aided by read aloud and a double-click dictionary. Britannica has been key in delivering digital resources for all Egyptian citizens as part of the Egyptian Knowledge Bank portal. Britannica embraced Egypt Vision 2030, creating purpose-built resources mapped directly to the Egyptian science curriculum, helping thousands of teachers with core classroom practice. Using video storytelling, Lumi Labs helps students become skilled collaborators, communicators, and media-savvy producers. A simple interface, pre-built lesson plans, an extensive library of curriculum-supporting content, and easy-to-use classroom management solutions transforms classroom experiences with digital stories that support cross-curricular learning. Designed to meet the needs of the education community, ImageQuest features over 3 million rights-cleared images from 60 of the world's best collections. Create exciting high-quality lesson plans, research projects, and classroom presentations with this unique education service. Launch packs provide over 1,700 ready-to-use science topics aligned to the curriculum. Preloaded with classroom activities, instruction sets, and questions, this engaging interactive content is designed to build critical thinking skills, reading comprehension, and the understanding of perspectives. Teachers can easily customize and assign activities to personalize instruction. Accessible from any device, Britannica products address the complex teaching and learning needs of today's educators and students in the classroom and at home.
Hi everyone, we are very excited to be here with you today to share some thoughts, ideas and learnings in EdTech. I'm sure all of you are quite familiar with Britannica's rich history. However, many of you may not be aware that today, Britannica is a dynamic digital publisher and media company on the cutting edge of education. For nearly 2 decades, we've created digital products, media and services for students, teachers, schools and parents. We are working with ministries of education around the globe on a variety of projects and are committed to helping educators facilitate, achieve lasting and positive outcomes. I really hope you find our sessions informative and helpful, and I'd now like to hand over to our Development Officer for the first session. Thank you.
So what is connected learning? Why is it important? And how do you harness connected learning opportunities to grow as an educator? Today we live in a digitally globalised world where there are opportunities and connections for learning at our fingertips. And therefore, it is more important than ever to understand connected learning and how to create and harness connected learning opportunities. Connected learning is a modern pedagogical approach to learning. It is underpinned by networked learning and connectivism, framed around the values of equity, full participation and social connection. The connected learning tree illustrates the relationship between the foundations of connected learning. Connectivism, where learning occurs through connections within a network. Networked learning, where learning occurs through digitally enabled connections between people and resources. And social constructivism, where knowledge is actively constructed via the connections and interactions made within connectivism and networked learning. Connected learning taps into your interests to motivate and engage you in learning, while you are supported by peers and mentors. You are encouraged to take risks, work through challenges, and overcome setbacks. Connected learning celebrates individual diversity and uses advances in technology to customise and differentiate learning so that the learning environment is personalised, interconnected, and integrated. A personal learning network, or PLN, is an example of how you can digitally participate in connected learning. A PLN involves online learning via connections and interactions where you as the learner will be immersed in the connected learning environment. Using the skills of observation, discussion, creation, and reflection, you will build deeper knowledge about a specific interest area. By actively engaging in a PLN, you will improve teaching, learning, and leadership. During this presentation, I'm going to share with you how I formed and developed my PLN, focusing on the interest area of digital literacies. Just a quick side note, a PLN can focus on any topic of interest to the learner. I will also identify and discuss the tools I used and the connections and interactions I made that have contributed to the development of my PLN from its initial stages to the current PLN. The PLN you are now viewing illustrates my personal learning network in its initial stages. At this point in my learning journey, I believe this PLN is quite underwhelming, and it requires a lot more development. This PLN involves a combination of offline connections, for example, face-to-face interactions like conferences, as well as online connections such as LinkedIn. All the offline connections are connected to my role at Britannica. These offline networks provide opportunities for collaboration, sharing of ideas, discussion, and creation, and mostly occur in face-to-face scenarios. While LinkedIn, an online application, was used specifically for building my professional identity. I used it to connect with peers, share content, gain insights, and stay informed through news posts. Google is another online platform used to collaborate with colleagues. I used it to share materials and content, communicate via email, or for chat, and for researching using tools such as Google Scholar. The other online connections shown in this PLN occur via social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook, and have purely been created for my personal interests only. Therefore, they are not connected to my professional identity in any way. Most of the connections illustrated in this PLN do not link to the theme of digital literacies, but instead they relate to digital education and my role as a training and development officer in APAC. The next step in developing my PLN involved analysing my connections and interactions, and I soon came to realise my PLN was not successfully connecting me with content or resources related to digital literacies. So I strategically developed connections with people and resources through the use of social technologies to make meaningful use of social networks for professional purposes, and to create an online presence showcasing my professional digital identity. The figure you are now viewing illustrates my PLN as it stands today. However, I believe it's still and always will be developing as my connections and interactions change with my learning needs and interests. To enhance my connections in this PLN, I use the following learning experiences: linking, stretching, and amplifying. These learning experiences are terms coined by Kay Odden, lecturer and researcher at the Queensland University of Technology. They describe the different types of learning experiences you can move between based on your learning needs and your context. They are not extensions of each other, nor do they occur in any particular order. In fact, they can occur at any point during the connected learning process. Let's explore each learning experience in a little more detail. Linking is evident when I use my network of peers and mentors to ask questions and to problem solve. The immediate feedback they provided allowed me to adjust and hone my skills and understanding. Examples of linking can be seen when I collaborated and brainstormed with Britannica colleagues, using offline tools such as face-to-face meetings and online tools such as webinar, or using Google, a cloud-based platform, to work collaboratively within the same document. Another example of linking is visible in my online university study. Learning within this course is focused on student contribution and discussion within a supportive, collaborative environment. As a learner, I am encouraged to read peer posts and respond with thought-provoking questions and comments in a collegiate manner. Learning in this type of environment is autonomous and proactive, and I gain a much deeper understanding when I interacted and contributed more frequently. Stretching, the second of our learning actions, helps discovery, expansion of my network, and curiosity. This was evident in the various digital literacy groups, pages, and people whom I began to follow or with whom I connected with via social media. Through these connections, I was able to access up-to-date information which developed my pedagogical understanding further. Twitter is a perfect example. It is a great platform for curating connections with mentors and educators I wish to emulate. However, a couple of user suggestions. Firstly, following too many people can result in an information overload. And secondly, another tip is to ask the right questions to the right people. I learned very quickly to locate the best expert or professional in a specific field and tweet them a quick message. This technique yielded much better results than tweeting a question into the Twitter sphere and filtering the many hundreds of results that followed. Finally, amplifying, the third learning action. This involves actively contributing and creating. Amplifying can be seen in the creation of my blog, where I construct knowledge, share my thoughts, and evaluate and reflect on the comments. Amplifying is also visible in my online university study, where I collaboratively research and inquire to build new knowledge. Similarly, amplifying is evident in my activity on social media platforms such as LinkedIn and Facebook. In the act of posting, tweeting, and commenting, I'm actively contributing, creating, and participating in the discussions. I'm also receiving feedback and reflecting on the experiences and opinions of others. Participating in this PLN made me feel supported. I knew I was not alone in my journey of learning about digital literacies. In fact, there was a whole network of my peers who I could draw upon for advice and encouragement, but who were also on that same learning journey. Now I'd like to quickly touch on the various forms of communication and sharing within a PLN. These include text, imagery, and video. The use of text is a quick and easy way to share and receive ideas and knowledge, using a platform like Facebook. The only downfall of such a site is that there is a word limit, and therefore a blog is a great alternative to build clearer context, providing readers with a better understanding of the interest area. Hyperlinking supporting research, mainstream media pieces, blog posts, and other sites within my blog, tweets, or posts further developed the context and was a great way to share my creations and artifacts. The human brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text, so tools such as Instagram are excellent for sharing information using visuals. An image presents detailed information in a simple pictorial format that builds context and understanding around a topic. For example, the Insta account, @TeachingDigitalLiteracy, presents information about digital literacies using images, words, in engaging coloured visuals. Video is another robust digital tool to help gain better understanding of a topic or for sharing knowledge and information. Did you know that 1 minute of video equates to well over 1 million written words? Using webinars, Vimeo, and YouTube helped me to share information about Britannica resources, provide training to Britannica users, and it enabled me to create fun blog posts demonstrating science experiments that entertained and encouraged users to engage with the content. You can easily, seamlessly weave all of the above digital forms into your blog, allowing a reader or follower to access the content from one single location and explore it at a deeper level. Next, I would like to explore the use of social media platforms in my personal learning network. The variety and ease and access to social media tools makes it very easy for a learner to create a digital presence and connect with like-minded peers. Firstly, Twitter. This platform is one of the most popular social networking tools used by learners today. There are currently over 550 million users and over 58 million tweets per day. To gain the most benefit from Twitter and wade through the vast amounts of content available, it's essential to identify and follow key individuals who are respected within their profession. In my case, this field was digital literacies. To achieve this, I first explored an individual's Twitter account, their feed, and clicked on various hashtags within their tweets. This task identified the relevancy of the information. Next, I would favourite relevant tweets and follow users that I believed contributed usefully to the conversation. This actively built up my Twitter learning network. I also learnt to contribute to the conversation through exploring other users' tweets, and then using these examples to compose a tweet myself. I included a relevant hashtag so that others could see my tweet, respond to it, and learn from it. Facebook is another social media platform I used regularly to develop my personal learning network about digital literacies. I was able to conduct a search for digital literacy Facebook groups where I could freely join a public group or request access to a private group. I used the group description and the number of members in the group to determine if a group was appropriate for my learning needs. It was also worth checking out the group location too. Within groups, I could view and comment on posts, click on links, and open and view media, as well as creating my own contributions and linking my blog's URL or Twitter handle to grow my personal learning network across platforms. Instagram, a social media curation platform, allows you to curate a collection of material highlighting your interest area. Other curation tools such as Vimeo facilitate the sharing of teaching artefacts that illustrate your practice as an educator and that build your professional digital identity. Finally, when creating and interacting within your PLN, it is really important that you share your voice and story, recounting personal experiences and anecdotes so that your readers can empathise and identify with you. Honesty and openness help the formation of connections with other like-minded peers, while building a genuine, authentic reflection of yourself within the digital sphere. Likewise, tweets, posts and blogs recounting experiences and stories provide a way to reflect on your practice and will give you a professional voice. In conclusion, a developed personal learning network creates opportunities for you as the learner to contribute as a connected professional. This allows you to link with peers and mentors and resources on a needs basis for support and advice. By interacting and contributing information, you will be actively engaging in your PLN and therefore constructing knowledge. Creating blogs, tweets, posts, and other artefacts can enhance your professional recognition and contribute to the wider education profession, creating a positive, recognised online identity. I'd like to leave you with one final thought. It is tremendously important to treat every online contribution you make with care and precision, assuming it may be the only content you create with which your audience may engage. It should therefore inspire, educate, and intrigue. It should elicit emotion. Thank you for listening today and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Ms. Hannah. That was definitely interesting to hear from someone, a practitioner herself. And I'm sure it's actually helped a lot of our educators out there on how to actually utilize Britannica Online and to the best of Britannica Online for their online teaching. Keith, I believe you have questions from our audience for Ms. Hannah?
Yes, I do. Welcome, Hannah. So nice to hear you present. In fact, a lot of people commented that Wow, this is a really new perspective about your PLN. The things that one of the teachers say, where do I start? How do I create this personal learning network that you are sharing about? Can you please enlighten us?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question, because in our digital world, we can be overwhelmed by all the platforms and tools and different things you can use. So I would start with a social media platform that you feel comfortable with, that you're familiar with. And for example, Facebook, make sure it meets your learning needs. And then you go in and you find a group that that matches the learning need. So in my case, it was digital literacies. And you kind of lurk in this space. You watch and learn from the members, how to interact, read their different posts, view their comments, perhaps click on some of the links and media that are in those posts. And then you can learn how to contribute yourself, and you can start to post and share some of your own artifacts, which then eventually leads to you creating your own group.
Okay, that's a good way to start. Another teacher also, because it's very new to them, right? They're asking, what would be the benefits of having a small PLN versus a large or widely dispersed PLN? What should we do?
Look, starting small, just like the previous question, is a really great place to start. You don't want to become overwhelmed and find it too much and too big. And that way you can definitely manage your posts and comments much easier, rather than having a gigantic PLN with lots of connections. Like I said, lurk in the different sites and the tools that you use. You don't have to comment straight away. You can just view and read the different comments, and to find your feet and your voice and what you actually want to share. My final comment really sums that up, that you want to make the posts that you share really resound with people, and they remember it and they go back to that information. Choosing that one tool or that resource that you're familiar with as well, and just being selective in your connections that you make. So don't make too many too soon. Choose those best reliable experts as well, and that will build a really substantial but relevant PLN.
Okay. One of the teachers is very intrigued and basically very interested. But she was saying that I'm just so busy, How do I fit in time for maintaining a PLN? Any advice? Because now teachers are so busy when classes been taken online. They need to find time actually.
Oh, I know, it's so busy. And then throw in some homeschooling if you're doing that as well. Look, the best suggestions I have is to perhaps use that dead time to access your PLN. So you might be lined up in a queue or traveling on public transport. You can use that time to then go in and explore the different platforms that you're using. Another great way is to allocate a specific amount of time every day. So perhaps you allocate 30 minutes of your day to go in, read some posts, perhaps share some information, click on some links. By setting these smaller achievable goals, such as posting once a day, you will be able to manage your PLN much easier. And I guess it's the most important thing to remember is that your PLN is for you. So you decide how you want to use it, and you make it work for your situation and balance in your life and your work and things like that.
Hey, thank you for sharing. It's really nice of you to spend time to share this with us. A credit to Britannica is that I really love your Britannica products. 200 over years, 260, right, of content aggregated into a platform. And then you have more than 100 million subscribers, which we actually learn from a global community. Actually, it's amazing. Many schools that has been using the Britannica School Edition that's mapped specific to the country curriculum, like say whether it's UK curriculum, US or Australia, they really find it amazing. And I'm sure we can find a lot of resources from Britannica to put into our PLN, or at least get it there, right?
Yeah, look, you can. Having that 250-year legacy is an amazing feat for any company. And yes, definitely, you can. I mean, I had Britannica in my PLN map where you're information searching and researching and sharing that information. So it definitely can fit in your PLN.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks a lot, Hannah. Thank you so much for
My pleasure.
sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you
care.
again,
Stay
Hannah.
safe.
Bye.